Hey, 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 beautiful blessed ones. It's your Triple G here, Donna Sallee, certified transformational life and dream builder coach, motivational and empowerment speaker, workshop and book club facilitator, best-selling author, and the founder of Life Destiny Solutions, where the life you're living connects with the destiny your soul desires to express. I am so excited to have you here for tonight's episode of Women, Wisdom, and Wine, which is a live segment, a virtual live segment where women gather to have conversations about their experience with life, healing, growth, and transformation. Because I truly believe that if you are alive, you have something to share. You have wisdom to share that can help someone else. If you are new to the segment, I want to give you a special welcome, and I hope that you find value in tonight and that you'll come out and join us again. And for my regular watchers, I thank you for your love and support, continued love and support. Now, I promise you at the end, I will tell you, especially those of you who are new, I will tell you how you can find out more about me, Life Destiny Solutions, and my free guide. All right. So before we get started, you guys know I like to know, what are you sipping on tonight? After all, it is women, wisdom, and wine, right? So, as the last three episodes, I've been drinking a red blend, and it is a domestic red blend from California. Very tasty. And so just go ahead and tell me in the chat what you're sipping on before we get started and we introduce our awesome guest for tonight. Let's get it going. All right. So before I get to my guest, some of you are so funny. I just wanted to go through some of the comments real quick. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. Hello, Keely. Hello, Angie. Someone said they love my glasses. Thank you. These are my glasses I usually carry. My other glasses, yeah, that's my second pair. So Keely has Gatorade tonight. Ooh, Angela's got some bubbly tonight. And Daryl said he's tired of me forgetting the men that are supporting me and supporting the show. It is Women, Wisdom, and Wine, but I tell you all the time, we love the men's comments. We love your support. And we know that you are men that care about the women in your life and you want to hear what they're hearing. So we appreciate you. I want to say hello to Latasha, to Melinda. She's drinking water because she's at work. That's probably a good idea. And hello to my good friend, Stephen L. Jones, blueberry ginger ale. That sounds good. All right. So I just want to get some of those out of the way because y'all hit me up with the comments right away. I love it. So I hope this is just a prelude to the involvement you're going to have tonight in tonight's great conversation. So I am wanting to introduce to you Carrie Ralston Jackson. Miss Carrie is a gifted healer utilizing life coaching, motion code, essential oils, flowology, and other modalities. She really is a Jill of all life transformational trades. She lives on a small farm in Central Texas with her husband and 3 teen daughters. And her adult son and daughter-in-law have 2 precious daughters that she lovingly calls her grandgirls. She loves to travel and she handcrafts crystal jewelry, which allows her creative juices to flow. Carrie's on a mission. I love this. She is on a mission to share her gifts with women who need freedom from trauma and other baggage they have carried with them through life. This freedom empowers them to embrace the truth of who they are and begin living life of purpose on purpose. I love it. So let's welcome Miss Carrie. Put your virtual hands together.
Yeah. They're not virtual, but hi, Donna. Thank you so much.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. Um, so
so
yeah,
good to see you
forgive
tonight.
forgive my surroundings. We had an appointment out of town, and we found out we weren't going to make it back in time. So I was like, y'all got to pull over and y'all got to go in that store and hang out for an hour or so. So my
Yes,
family is shopping and I'm sitting in the car. So forgive
I
that.
love it. Sometimes, we have to improvise, right?
Yeah.
These are the things that life throw at us. So we
Right,
have to
right.
improvise. So I love it. I appreciate you for coming on in anyway. You know what I'm saying? I truly appreciate that. So we don't mind your background. We don't mind the surroundings. We're just glad to have you here tonight.
Thank
So
you. I
I want
appreciate
to
you.
get started because, girlfriend, first of all, you are a Jill of all transformational life trades, which I love. You and I connected. We have a coaching connection, but we also connected virtually. And I love the things that you are doing. I love your daily affirmations. I love how you are supporting and loving on your tribe. So I just want to say that I appreciate your work in the world. Before we get started.
Well, thank
So
you.
you obviously chose a very interesting topic in the beginning, which for those of us like you who grew up in a Christian household with biblical foundation, um, in the beginning means just that. It is very biblically based and what we have learned in church. And so I thought it was an interesting topic that you chose. So tell me why you chose that topic and what is your take on in the beginning? Why did you choose that and why is it different? Why are we going to hear something different tonight?
Oh, you're going to hear something different. Anytime
I'm
I speak, you're going to hear something that might push the boundaries a little bit.
It might push the back. I love it. That's what I
Yeah,
love. All right.
yeah. So, in the beginning, um, we can look at just scripture, Genesis 1:1. He created the heavens and earth. And then it says, in verse 3, it says, and God said, let there be light, and there was light.
Yes.
So if that's creation, so ponder that as I'm talking.
Mhm.
That's the way everything started, was by a spoken word, right? So, so in my own beginning, of this idea of healing, I was a mess. I mean, I was an absolute mental mess, a physical mess. There was, I didn't have much hope for anything. And I kept praying about a solution. Went to all sorts of doctors, surgeries, all sorts of things trying to fix what was going on, right? Had a pretty traumatic childhood, and early adulthood, like so many people.
Yes.
And it came to it came to energy work. Quite frankly, that was where I was up against this wall of everything else has not worked. So
Yes.
what is this?
Yes.
So after much praying, I started kind of dabbling with essential oils. They smell wonderful, so if nothing else, they smell wonderful. But then I
Right.
started learning the beauty of them and how they can affect our physical bodies, and they can affect our emotional and our spiritual walk. And that began to open me up. And I'm like, okay, maybe. And then I had another friend introduce me to the idea of the emotion code. And that was way outside my comfort zone, um,
Mm.
when I first heard it, because it sounded like those things,
Mhm.
those new
Kind of woo
age,
woo, new
oh,
age woo
way
woo.
woo woo. way woo woo. And so I was like, oh, I don't know about all that. So I kind of pumped the brakes on that one for a little while. And over here, I'm all about essential oils, and I see somebody saying about essential oils, and I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I could get
Yeah.
on board there. And I started listening to this lady describe essential oils and the frequency of essential oils. And I was like, frequency? What's all that about? And so the more I listened to her, the more I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Everything's a frequency, right? Go back to in the beginning, he spoke. Y'all know frequency, energy, it's all right there, right?
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I'm a little bit here with you now. And so the more I heard, the more I was like, okay, maybe. And the thing that she said that got me to going, okay. So I was still in this limbo about the emotion code, right? And she said, so if God created everything in the beginning, right? And it says that he created everything and it was good.
Yes.
And I went, oh, I just got chills saying it again.
Yes. I got chills when you said it. Yes.
So everything was good. Yes. If he created everything with energy and everything was good, it was that piece I needed to go, okay, you've been pushing me this way. You've been saying, try this. So I signed up for a free session.
Okay.
And this lady that I got placed with was so amazing. And she was so sweet. And she was a Christian. And that helped me to go, okay, this is, I still went in.
Maybe it's okay.
Yeah, maybe it's okay. But she was with the essential oil. And then she was doing this emotion code, body code. And I was like, okay, but I experienced so much healing. I was like, this has got to be from you. This has got to be from you. So that was my beginning. That's my beginning.
Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I want to ask those, and I've seen several people have said they're into essential oils. Keely was saying she's into essential oils and she's, big about frequencies and energy. And so just really briefly, before we move forward to know more about the emotion code and frequencies and all that, I want to ask you, so when God said in the beginning, he spoke a word and it came about and it was good. He spoke each part of our world that we live in and the universe and beyond with words, right? And then we're created in the image of God. So doesn't that make us co-creators? Aren't we just little chips off the old block? Aren't we able to? Because then the Bible in the New Testament says greater works will we do, that we can tell that mountain to be moved and cast into the sea. We can speak things into existence too.
Absolutely.
We know that right there. Like that excites. You don't know how much that excites me.
Oh yeah, I do know,
because it's so much further and so much more beyond that. Nothing wrong with church. I mean, I love my Bible, my word. It is what it is. That's my foundation. However, there's so much more and there's so much deeper meaning to it that I think a lot of times pastors and preachers and teachers are a little afraid to tap into, because it does seem new age and it does seem woo woo and it does seem it's uncomfortable. So talk a little bit about frequencies and energy and how that all kind of fits.
Okay. Well,
it was a little more. I'm sorry. I'm around your notes, girl.
I got notes. I actually have this in my notes, but it's getting to it. So, so let's think about. Can we go back to words? Okay, and then we'll get to the frequencies. Okay.
Yes.
Because the idea of the word and what you were talking about, that spoken word and what words are for us.
Yes.
So powerful. Even those things that we think are not a big deal, like that kills me, right? It's killing me.
You're
So
killing
even though,
me.
yeah, those words
Yeah.
right there, right? You're driving me crazy. Things that we say without even,
Get off. You're on my nerves.
yeah, we have no idea. So let's think about it. So our words are more than just a definition, because every word that we speak, every thought that we have, every emotion that we have, it's all energy, right? So every word we have is energy. So I invite you all to think about the word inch. Feel what an inch feels like. So, right, you've got, anybody out there got a thought going through your mind or a feeling, or, how does an inch feel to you? It's small, right? It's we've all got our own definitions of it, just because we might all think about this. So then think about the word mile. How much different does that feel in your body?
How much
Right?
more
So even these
expanded does that
words,
feel?
huh?
It felt so much more expanded. When you say the
Right.
word mile, you feel expanded compared to
Right.
inch.
Inches, we were constricted. We're here. Mile
Yeah.
is big and huge, right?
Yeah.
So even our words that are, what am I trying to say? They don't have feeling or emotion, or they're not supercharged, right? An inch is
Yes.
an inch and a mile is a mile, but
Right.
they still have an energy to them.
Yes.
So, anyway, the idea, this is Sharon Ann Kingler, and she's got a book, and I didn't get the name of it, but she says every word carries an energy that can be sensed, regardless of whether you're thinking it, speaking it, hearing it, or reading it on a page. A lot of elements impact a word's energy. So we can think of different shapes, different colors, different feelings that are all linked to words because of that energy and that frequency. So
Yes.
that's kind of where I was going. I wanted to kind of touch on that for a minute also.
Yes.
Um,
I just had to put that up there because Keely and I were in the Army together. So that PT test, she said a mile is forever. Woo, try two. We had to
I
run
can
two.
imagine.
I'm
Right?
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. So the idea of frequencies in our bodies, a human, like a normal human who's healthy, they're at about 62 to 68 megahertz, right?
Okay.
So if we look at our brain can be 70 to 78, colon can be 58 to 63. So each organ has a different frequency. When we start to get sick, or like have the flu, we can drop down to like 58.
Wow.
Viral infections can be 55 to 60, and cancer is like less than 42. So when we are in dis-ease, our frequencies drop and we become ill, and we are not higher vibrating.
Yes.
Just a brief on the oils. The
Yes.
oils range, like the very lowest oil, I think this is the lowest one, is basil, and it's 52. So that's still in a good high range. If we're kind of dipping
Yes.
down, it can help some certain things. It's
Yes.
really good
Yes.
for the brain. The highest one, though, is rose, and rose oil is at a 320 frequency.
Wow.
So if we're feeling yuck, if we're emotionally feeling yuck, essential oils are so powerful at shifting that, like one sniff and things change.
That's why rose oil is so expensive.
That's why it takes hundreds of roses for a little bitty bottle of rose oil.
And
So
you know
yeah,
what's
pretty
funny
powerful
about
stuff.
that is there are lots of flowers I love, but to me, it's like when I used to go buy myself roses, I had a little heart vase. I love hearts. And so I had a little vase that had hearts on it that one of my girlfriend's moms bought me. And I used to go and buy 3 roses, and I would cut them every week and put them in this little vase by my door because I just loved roses and I didn't know why. Because they don't smell like you know, there's lilies and other things that have such a, you know, so much more of a you know, colorful and beautiful, bright smell. But something about roses always, I was always attracted to them. So that's
They are
interesting.
known. They're known. It's known as the oil of divine love, also. So,
Wow.
yeah, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Yeah. Did you have? Did you have another
Asking, do
question?
you have a certain brand you recommend of oils, essential oils?
Those deep questions. I currently am using doTERRA because that is my group. That's where all the good is in my, I mean, I've used Young Living, I've used doTERRA, I've used other brands. That's where my tribe is now. So
Okay.
that's why I use it. I mean, and honestly, if somebody wants to purchase it, yeah, they can purchase it from me, but I'm not an oil snob, if I'm just being
Right.
perfectly
Okay.
honest.
Okay. Yes. I get it.
I've heard too many people go, this is the only kind that works. And that's not true. I mean, honestly, I still have both oils. Well, actually several oils. I've got a couple extra off ones. But sometimes I will test, and sometimes I need one brand over the other of the exact same oil.
Yes.
So it
just depends. So Lisa was asking, how can you tell true essential oils? What is a true essential oil? Because she's seen them at the mall. You know, everybody talks about they're selling essential oils, but how do you know?
Oh, research. Honestly,
Researching the
you would
brands.
kind of have to research the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are some that are certified. Yeah, that's another whole topic.
And Lisa and I could talk about that sometime, because I do is that there are brands like you've mentioned a couple of brands, but there are brands that are known essential oils. So I mean they have a reputation. So you know.
Yeah.
So okay.
I'm not an oil snob, but if you want doTERRA, just look me up.
Right. So you have So because everything is energy, and energy is measured by frequency. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
So energy is measured by frequency. We are all energy. We're made up of energy. The words we speak, everything is energy. And I think, did Einstein say something about that with energy? I think it was Einstein or somebody said something about energy. But
yes.
Yeah. I can't remember who, but
yeah, I was going to say I almost wrote it down and I forgot to get that quote.
Yes. So with energy, so you mentioned something interesting, and I do want to touch on it. And I don't want to, because I know we have so much more we could talk about. This might have to be a two-parter, because I already know. I'm loving the questions, guys. Thank you. So we talked about energy. We talked about how in the beginning, God spoke and things came into existence. We talked about words being energy. We talked about how we are made in the image of God. And we have also been told in that same Bible that we can do the same thing. We can speak things into existence. As a matter of fact, also, the Bible says that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So that tells you how serious the words. But you said something that I thought was interesting, and that was that our thoughts have energy. And so sometimes we can't necessarily control the thought that comes into our brain, but we say it's what we do with those thoughts and how important it is to gain control of those and rein those in. Can you talk a little bit about that? I know that's a little off our topic, but
it's way off our topic. No, it's exactly there, because it's all in there. Take every thought captive. We cannot. So there's different there's different reasons why we have those thoughts. They're either self-imposed, they come down, or they're told to us from our families. They come down through the generations, right?
Mhm.
We're always poor. We've always been this denomination. We've always been this whatever. And so we build boxes, right? And it
Mhm.
can be beliefs about ourselves. It can be, oh, this is my personality. I'm just a B
I'm
word,
just this way. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm just this way, whatever this way
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
So that idea and those thoughts run in our background, and it's in the subconscious. It's all recorded there. If we've ever stopped and considered that thought as a truth, it can be there until we
Yeah.
learn how to get rid of it,
Yes.
until we push it out and reprogram, because
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
whole idea of cleaning out the house and 7 more come. If
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
go, okay, we're going to push this out, I mean, that works with, you know, demonic stuff, and that's it's multidimensional there.
Right.
But
Right.
even with thought, if I go, well, I'm not this anymore, but I don't replace it, then what am I? Okay, well,
Yes.
maybe you're this, well, maybe you're that. So that understanding of reprogramming as we go, and that's what's
Yeah.
so cool about the coaching that you and I do,
I'm
is
sorry.
um it's so neat about that coaching is learning the new thoughts, learning a new way of finding solutions, learning a new idea that there's something bigger than what we've been taught or what
Thought.
we've believed,
Yes. Yes.
or whatever, however it got there. There's more, so it's
Yes. So that reminded me very quickly. We had this conversation in our book club last Sunday, and because you said running in the background, and I was thinking about how we were talking about the fact that your subconscious, no filter. So your
mhm,
subconscious believes whatever it's told, whatever
mhm,
it's told. So that how they say energy, energy goes, and where thoughts go, energy flows. So your subconscious, and the way I explained it was, how on your phone, do you ever get those things on your phone? You have an Android, you ever get those things on your phone that says, hey, these applications have been just running in the background and you haven't used them in a while, so we're going to shut them down, because all those things. So that's how our subconscious is. It's full of apps that are running in the background constantly, consistently. You might not consciously access that application, but it's still running in the background. And
mhm.
so that's what our subconscious does. And that's why we have to consciously replace our thoughts
Yes,
so that our subconscious is playing those things in the background, which
absolutely,
is why we talk
absolutely.
about affirmations and brain entrainment, and brain neuroplasticity and neural pathways and all that. All of that is a fancy way of saying we have to download some new, or upload some new applications to our subconscious, so that those are what's running in the background. So I
Absolutely.
thought that was so important. You said in the background. So,
Yes.
okay. All right. So, how does this energy and frequency? Now, you talked about how our bodies are when we're, in different places, if we're sick, if we're going through dis-ease. You talked about the frequencies of the oils so talk a little bit about emotion code, and flowology. You can, take one at a time, but how that all kind of works together for you, what you do.
Okay. So, yeah, you're just hitting right on everything I had planned to. I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit these points. So, yeah, the subconscious, that's our record keeper. And it tallies. It's just like a record keeper sitting there going, okay, at this age, you felt this way, and blah, 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 blah. So things that you may not even remember are recorded. And a lot in our society, we are taught to, oh, don't cry. You don't need to feel that way about that. You know, this is just put your big girl panties on and deal with it, right? And
right.
it's kind of it's our way of society. It makes people uncomfortable to deal with their emotions, to address their emotions or face them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of trauma going on in the world, and
Mm-hmm.
as we learn to cope with it by pushing it down and not addressing it and not going, oh, that hurt, we become more and more blocked with negative emotions.
Yes.
So it's that idea of anytime I've felt taken for granted as a mom, as a wife, that's easy for us to feel, right? So I see that come up a lot in my mom, in my women clients.
Yes.
That was said so weird, but taken for granted is a big one, and so we'll just see it come up over and over and over again, because as moms we go, oh yeah, you know, I'm supposed to feel this way, I'm supposed to do this for my children, and you know, my husband needs this, and my kids need this, and my family needs this, and we've
And
got all
that's how
these
we're
places.
taught. That's how we're trained.
Right. So we've got all these obligations, and then we feel bad because we're not enjoying this, or that we're being taken advantage of in certain situations. And I don't even mean in a big way. I'm talking about kids coming in and throwing their stuff all over the house, you know, and expecting us to clean it up.
Yes.
You know, there's those things, but then we're taught to go, that's my job, that's what I do, you know.
Yes.
So every time we suppress that particular emotion, and it's not just this emotion, y'all, it can be any situation. This was just one that came to my head as we were talking. But every time we feel that, we can basically build more, and we just push it down and it stays in there. Because what I'm learning is that in order for us to release emotions, we have to acknowledge them, we have to feel them, and we have to release them. And that all works with that whole forgiveness process of, I have to acknowledge this person hurt me in this way. And whether or not I talk to them, it depends. It depends on the situation. If it's a repeated behavior that we need to deal with, then we will. But just me sitting down and going, that really hurt, it made me feel this.
Yes.
Okay, now I choose to forgive. And it's that process of learning how to work through those things. And the more that I've released with emotion code, with body code, and flowology, those are 3 different modalities that I use. Emotion code is specific to emotions, and it is using the idea of muscle testing, which is applied kinesiology. It's a scientific method that your body knows the truth. So finding a strong response is a yes, right? So we identify emotions that are stuck. And when emotions are stuck, they can cause physical problems. I've seen people healed from chronic pain in a matter of minutes by releasing just emotions, right? And then we go even further. My family's circling the car.
Like, can you
Then we
hurry
go
up?
even further. They are. They're like sharks.
I love it.
Anyway, so it's that idea and that concept of being able to release those layers of stuff that we've stuffed. Also dealing with the negative beliefs we were talking about earlier that come down through the generations that are told to us from the time we're little bitty. Oh, you'll never do that. Nobody in our family's ever done that. So kind of what you were talking about, to get rid of those programmings going on in the background, I deal with all of that.
Yeah. So emotion code specifically deals with the muscle testing and where we hold those past emotions in our body that cause disease.
Right.
And what it's doing is, if I can, I want to make sure I'm getting it too. So when we hold these things, these hurts, these thoughts, these programs, when we hold them in our body, okay, then what we're doing is we're causing a blockage of that flow of energy. So it
Absolutely.
takes our frequency down.
Yes. Yes. Perfectly put together. Yes.
Okay.
So we have natural energy circuits. So for
Yes.
anyone on here, I feel like I need to mention the words meridians.
Yes.
They're actual energy channels in our body. The
Mm-hmm.
chakras.
Yes.
One of those big words, right?
Woo woo.
We're way out there. But they all correlate with the endocrine
Yes.
system. So they're
Yes.
physically proven, and when there's stuff in them, we don't operate the way we're supposed to operate.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes.
that's absolutely. It's like if you were in a river and you see a boulder, or you see a river running smoothly, you put a big boulder in it, water's got to go up, around, all these different ways to get through. Or it could be completely blocked if you have a beaver dam and you have serious chronic issues, thoughts, behaviors. This is why I love mixing it with the coaching, because sometimes a positive thought can't get you there if you're blocked, right? So I'm finding a lot of success of let's clear all this background stuff out, and then let's go and put those new neural pathways down. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this, and I see that my signal, y'all been having Wi-Fi issues, so y'all send me some to tell my Wi-Fi to get in line. So I wanted to address a couple of things, because then I want to know a little bit more about flowology and how that, what that is. So Lisa asked the question that, she said it makes so much sense what you're talking about how can we be conscious of this, or can you be?
Okay. Yes, you can be. And it takes learning. It takes being aware. It takes stopping in that moment and going, what is this? And for me, so long, I didn't express emotion except anger for years. That was the only one that was safe to come out. So I've had to learn, okay, I have this sensation. What is this? And I've had to learn how to identify it. I've learned how to see my patterns. And so I'm working on making new ones. I'm working on making new grooves, right? And those new programs. But yeah, it's learning. It's learning your triggers. It's learning your responses. Yeah, it's absolutely possible.
I know for me,
it's just
not letting I have to, I mean, I work on this to this day, but there was a time in my life that whatever feeling I felt, I just allowed it to run amok. So if I was feeling sad, if I was feeling angry, if I was feeling anxious, whatever, I would lean into that. Just let it be, instead of making the conscious decision to ask myself some questions. Okay, what's going on with you? Is there a reason you're feeling this way? It doesn't mean you can't have feelings and emotions, but sometimes if you can understand where it's coming from, why it's there, then you can have it. It's a little easier to kind of reprogram that. But sometimes we don't understand why, because you know what? It's caused by that program running in the background, that we've just become accustomed to. So that's what that made me. So Keely she said that this was all interesting. She says she has psoriatic arthritis. So she's wondering what she's holding on to. Very interesting, Keely. Very interesting. She said it started after she had her son, though, and it's been a challenge. He's been a challenge to raise. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. So, and then Lisa thanked you. She said, okay, so basically looking for those patterns and triggers. and she's starting to be more conscious of her emotions. And I just said that about emotions because I know how, and I have to, even now, like I have to just say, because here's the thing, it takes effort to stop yourself in the tracks and not just allow yourself to just be. See, it's easy to just be and take on whatever comes. It's easy to just allow yourself to go down the rabbit hole. That's easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so
Right.
I'll speak for me. It was easy for me to just let life take me on the ride. And I just sat in the back seat and just kind of went wherever life took me. And for many years. And so even now I have to sometimes, okay, what's going on, Donna? I have to ask myself, what's going on? Is this really, are you tired? Like I notice sometimes when I'm tired, I'm a lot more susceptible to all these different emotions. I'm a lot more, when I'm not feeling well, I'm a lot more susceptible to certain triggers, so it's really learning how all of this works together. Flowology. I want to understand that as well and how that works with you.
Okay, I'll deal with that in 1 second. Two things you said. Number one, we have to feel them in order to process them. So I want to reiterate that. So it's not, there's a difference in wallowing in it and just going, oh, well, this is just the way it is. And this is this big emotion. And so giving ourselves excuses to just be there.
To just be.
But we have
to let
to feel it. Right. And we're created as emotional beings. So emotions are not bad things. They're bad things so we can have emotions without them having us, right?
Yes.
So it's that whole idea of, we're still we're still in charge. We're still the driver if we create that situation. And I forgot the second thing, but
anyone else?
Anyway.
Okay, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Maybe it'll come back to me because it was kind of important. And it was the last thing that you said that I was going to hit on. But flowology is using essential oils and the meridians. So foot zoning, if anybody knows anything about reflexology and that beautiful concept of how intricately we are created, that rubbing our feet can affect every portion of our body.
Yes.
It's so amazing. Yes. But using, I call it a forgiveness process with an essential oil or specific essential oils to work on different areas of the body. And why it's a forgiveness process is we really look at the different emotions and the different reasons that we can have, and it's the same principle. It's moving out stagnant energy. It's, that forgiveness is so beautiful in saying, okay, so, and I don't have my books with me, but it's like we walk through a step of, I forgive you for these certain behaviors that are kind of stuck in particular areas. And then it's forgive me for anytime I've either done that to someone or to that person that I just forgave or someone else. So it's really looking at that dichotomy of, yes, people hurt us, but we can hurt people also. So being aware of when I feel, and it's usually like when I'm feeling off, when I feel hurt, when I feel whatever, what am I doing to other people? And so it's just beautiful. And then it ends in an affirmation. So rubbing your feet with oils and working through forgiveness. And it sounds so simple and it sounds so, woo-woo, probably. Woo-woo. How could that be so powerful? But it's amazing. It's an incredible thing. And I'm so, like I said, that's my tribe. Those are people that, that I'm hooked up with now, is that understand the principles that, essential oils and forgiveness and really being aware of our spiritual selves and how that creates crystals. Okay.
Crystals, because I don't want to surround time, because that's something you use too. And I'm laughing
do.
at my friend Keely. She's something else. Keely,
I
I love
can't
you,
see
girl.
it. It's
You
way up
something
there.
else. Well, she was just saying that she was thanking me for this because she says she's not really a big, women talking type thing, so, but she was just trying to support me in this, but just women talking is just not really her thing, but she's really been benefiting from this. And then she said, I should have known it would be good as much as you love to talk. I'll talk to you later, Keely.
I think we might have lost you for a second.
Okay. Back. That's probably because I didn't need, I said, I'll talk to Keely later. Anyway. So talk a little bit about crystals as well, because I know you use that with all these modalities. You use a combination of these.
I'm really having a hard time hearing you again.
It's my connection.
I don't know. Okay. Repeat it again. Now I can see you.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Crystals. I know you use crystals in conjunction with all these modalities. So talk a little bit about the crystals and how they affect.
So, right. So coming into crystals, again, woo-woo, people carrying around rocks going, ooh, and now I'll tell you, any of this stuff, anybody can take and use it for nefarious purposes. It's that way with anything. Anything can be used for bad, for evil. Yes. Right. So the understanding came to me when I was studying out the temple in scripture, and I see linen and I see essential oils and I see crystals on the breastplate. And I was like, oh, okay. So it just opened me up to the understanding that if he created it and he said it was all good, it's all good. So now my husband and I own we sell crystals, and I use them every day. I wear them. Here's one of my creations. So I create jewelry also. And that's, in my bio, that's what I love to do for that creative outlet. So I'm learning new ways to do it, but also I carry them with me in my pockets. So since there's men on here, I'm not going to pull them out, but I carry them with me. And today I have on a dress. So
my bra.
Yeah, I do. I really do. But that's if we're talking chakras again, this is my heart chakra. So ones that really impact my ability to love unconditionally, which rose quartz is one of the big ones for that. And I think when we first started talking about it, I think that was the one you pulled, or amethyst. I don't remember.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, so that one's also for divine love. So oftentimes I will have rose quartz with me whenever I'm feeling kind of prickly towards the world, and being able to have myself in check. I'll use the oils. I'll use the crystals.
So I keep this one, this rose quartz. It stays on my desk for every day because I'll be at the computer like, at work. So I grab my crystal. Okay. And I start with my affirmations, I'm smart, capable, confident, focused. This is a fantastic day. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you need help loving somebody, grab your rose quartz.
And remember, I want to say this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, people can use, it can be used with meditation. They can be used for all sorts of things. And really, it's up to an individual and what God is telling them to do with them. Some people just wear them and say, oh, look, I look pretty. Typically, when I wear one, it's because I need that extra support that day. Or, in my pocket or my jewelry or whatever. And
what we have to remember is that crystals come from, they're natural. They came from that same
Mhm.
word that was spoken, that God created everything else.
Absolutely.
So there is energy in that.
Right.
And the other thing is that for those of us who have that biblical foundation, when the priests were inside the tent, the temple, the holy of holies, and when they had to wear armor with, or a breastplate with different crystals on them. Okay, so it's not like this is new. Another thing that a lot of people, a lot of Christian people, and I'm not putting anyone down. I'm just saying I know that these are things that I have had conversations with people about. A lot of Christian people down incense, they down burning sage or Palo Santo or whatever, but incense was being burned inside.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. The cool thing that I understood when I understood frequencies is if the priest had gone in without their frequency at a certain number, so
Yes.
the linen, the oils, the crystals, the metals,
Oh,
they
yes.
all had
Incense.
to be
Oh,
perfect
yes.
or it would have killed them because they
That's
couldn't
right.
have been in that high frequency of the ark. And when I
That's right.
realized that, it was like, oh,
Because
these
that
things are
was
here to help
where
me.
God dwelled, the Ark of the
Yeah.
Covenant. It was our
Yeah.
frequency. And we can't, this
Absolutely.
flesh could not handle that frequency. And guess what? That's
Absolutely.
the frequency that we, the real we, came from.
Mm-hmm.
It's these earth suits that can't handle it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I could talk about this stuff for, we might have to have you come back, because I'm going to tell you something. This kind of stuff excites me because for me, it expands my teaching. It expands builds on top of my foundation, my biblical foundation, because I still believe in prayer and not only, it's an expanded version, So yes, I can still go in church and, pray heaven down, and I know how to pray the word of God, and I know how to do all of those things because that's what I was taught. That's how I was brought up. That's how I was trained, and that's my foundation. But now I have learned that, there's so much else, there's so many other things that we can expand and include that are still part of God's creation. And we have to not be so rigid and so close-minded and keep it all in a box.
Yeah.
Keely said, I want my earth suit to be less heavy. Me and you both, girl.
Yeah.
Me and you both. So yes, Angela, I'm going to have her. I might have to have her come back and talk specifically about crystals. Maybe we'll have a conversation about crystals or crystals and oils and how to use them together or something. We might have to have Carrie back, because this has been such a wonderful conversation. This has just been wonderful. Thank you, my friend. And yes, thank you so much, Carrie. This has been just an amazing conversation. I was excited about this from the beginning. She said, can we talk about waist beads on another show? Anyway, I appreciate you. Please, let's tell people how they can find out about you, more about what you do and what you have to possibly offer them. Let's talk about it.
Okay. All right. So you want me to tell? You've got it up
I
there.
got your website down there. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my website is livingthewhole.life. All kinds of information about me, about what I do, about emotion code. Body code is a whole nother modality. It's an expansion on emotion code that deals with all sorts of energies, from toxins to pollutants to all sorts of stuff. But yeah, all the stuff's there. Our shop's there. That has some of our stuff. It's actually really new. So Um,
Okay. Okay.
but yeah, that's my website.
And if they want to
And
get in touch with you,
email is livingthewholelife1334 at
mhm,
gmail.com.
okay. And then
And this is
Facebook and
what
IG.
my Facebook and Instagram is living the whole life. If you, yeah, living dash the whole, or dashes between all the words on Instagram. But as far as I know, living the whole life that's all me. I haven't
Yes.
seen anybody else with that name. So if you
Yes.
see it, it's probably me.
Probably her.
But
Yes.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
So it's that
And then
concept of
tell them
wholeness.
about your surprise. I'm sorry.
So
Our
anybody,
delay. I
oh, I just said,
apologize for.
okay. All I said was it's about living whole, being our whole selves, and you know, getting rid of the stuff that causes those breaks. So
Yes.
yes, 20% discount on any product or any service, for through 421. So if you
Yes.
are seeing this and are interested in what I do, I would
Yes.
love to bless you with a discount on my services or any products.
Yes, I love that 20%, guys. So you have 2 weeks. You know how I tell them 2 weeks you have, because I don't want somebody to see this a year from now and call my friend and say, well, you said 20%. Okay, we got it for 21. So y'all have 2 weeks. Check out her website. I know that many of you have really enjoyed this conversation. I want to let you all know, the audience know, that I have enjoyed your interaction. I think this is the most interaction we've had since the very first show when we talked about voting. So I love when you guys interact, ask questions, make comments. So I want to thank you all for joining. And I also, before, I want to tell you a couple things. I have a couple of announcements, and then we're going to have our drawing real quick. And Melinda says she's excited to hear more. And Keely already asked me to bring you back when she's at home so her family doesn't have to swarm the car. So, all right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take you out so you don't have to be through all my boring stuff, so your family can go ahead and get in the car and y'all can, get down the road. But you and I will talk again soon, Carrie. I just thoroughly appreciate you, and I am thankful that we have connected.
Thank you, Donna, and thank you, everybody. I've enjoyed being here.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. You guys be careful on the road, okay? Bye. I think she's having a hard time hearing us. This was really great, Angie. So I want to tell you guys, if you are new to the show, as I promised, if you want to find out more about Life Destiny Solutions, please go ahead and to my website, donnasallee.com. Don't forget those 2 L's and 2 E's. And while you're there, please download my guide, 5 Steps to Begin Living a Life You Truly Love. It is a free guide full of information for you to just take some steps to start living a life you love. Also, you can go on over to that button on the far right that says book, and you can still buy the book that I was blessed to be a part of. It is I'm Breaking My Silence, 11 Stories of Triumph and Resilience by 11 different authors. So 11 stories. And while you're getting the book, I want to tell you now, since the pre-sale's over with, you can buy my Audible, which is my chapter on steroids. Okay. um you'll get all the story and a great companion to my chapter, and especially to the Audible, is my e-workbook. It is the Scattered Pieces Workbook, 10 week guide to gather and heal your scattered pieces, so we'll help you do your own healing work. And you can now buy the workbook and the Audible as a bundle. If you bought the book before and you didn't get the workbook and the Audible, you can go buy that bundle now. Or you can still buy the book and get a little bit of a discount by adding them on. Okay. If you are not a member of the Facebook group, Life Destiny Solutions, SOUL, private Facebook group, go on and think about joining. Also, I am on IG at Life Destiny Solutions, but I'm definitely on Facebook more. Okay. And the last thing before we get to this drawing is I started this show because I truly, truly believe that if you are alive, you have wisdom to share that can help someone else. So I'm asking you to please, please, please consider being a guest. I need guests. That's the only thing that makes this show go. Now, y'all know I can get on here and I could probably talk for an hour. You know, Keely already said, I could talk. Y'all know I can go. So I could do that. But I just don't think that you would find the value in it that you found like tonight. In other guests. So please, you don't have to have a store. You don't have to have something to sell. You don't have to. If you have experience, if you have education, if you have any wisdom that you can share to help someone else, please go ahead and email me, Donna@DonnaSallee.com. Don't forget those 2 L's and 2 E's. Please email me and tell me what you would like to come on the show and talk about, because I need guests. Next week, we are taking a station identification break. Okay, so we will not be on next week. It's the first Thursday that we have missed since the beginning of the year. So we will not be on. All right. So y'all, we're going to come back on the 22nd, and I have an extra special guest on the 22nd as well. All right. So are we ready for our drawing? So this drawing is all the names of the people who bought the book, the workbook, and the Audible during the pre-sale. Okay, so I announced a couple weeks ago during my launch segment, that I would have a drawing for those people specifically. We did have some giveaways and some drawings that night, but I said I have a drawing for you guys for a $50 Amazon gift card. Keely, I haven't forgotten about you, but I just, you might win again tonight, so I'll just send it to you all at one time. She won our $25. All right. Are y'all ready? All right, y'all. Okay. Make sure y'all know I'm not cheating. Okay. Let's see who it be. All right. Congratulations to my Color Street ladies. One of my Color Street ladies, because Keely is a Color Street lady too. She just hadn't been doing it as much. But speaking of Color Street, anyway, I'm just saying. So Angela, thank you so much. I will be getting with you for your gift card, okay? And Keely, I'll be sending your gift card. And I want to thank you all for your love and support. I hope to see the new people again. If you're watching on replay, please go ahead and mark your calendars for the 22nd, okay? We're off next week. All right, y'all. I love you. I appreciate you. And as I always tell you, don't forget to dare to dream big and be audacious enough to live even bigger. I'll see you in a couple weeks. God bless.